Hello, beautiful people. This is Vlad from Synaptic Schism. Today I want to start a new series of videos focusing on using AI for music creation and music production. I think that this is a very exciting field and that we are just starting, but there are already a number of tools that are doing very interesting things. And I want to go through a couple of them and share my thoughts on the process. I believe I have a privileged perspective on this because my job is with AI and machine learning. And at the same time, my hobby is music. So I kind of can connect the two and hopefully offer a more in-depth perspective on where we are, where we will be, and so on. But first, let me share what is my opinion on how AI can be used with music. I think there are three main areas. The first one is everything that is related with automation. So automating tasks that we have to do manually and that are very repetitive and that don't add to the creative process. Things like adding buses, changing effects, something as simple as saying increase volume of the synth track by 3 dB, something like that. I think that there's a lot to be said and done in this area that would allow us to focus our creativity in the actual creation and production, and having the machines in a way helping us in the tedious, repetitive things that take time. The second area is the actual music creation. And I'm a little bit split on this. On the part of the music creation, there's a world where all of the music is created by AI. And I think that that's a bad world. Obviously, this is not going to happen. I kind of don't care if AI takes over. As far as I'm concerned, I will continue to create music. However, I think that this is going to impact a number of people and also the end product in a way, because it's different to have a music composed specifically for that specific thing by a composer and being interpreted by actual musicians instead of having it generated by AI, even if the AI interprets the prompts really, really well. The third area is a bit of mix of the two, where the human has the creative control over what's going on, but the AI is able to help with tasks that are a little bit creative, but also a bit repetitive. So let's say that I want a ostinato on a track that I'm already working on, and I just ask the AI to create a track with a string ostinato for the part B of my track. Having an AI knowing what to do with this would be very, very powerful, and it would take quite a bit of time from the music creation process, let's say. I also think that AI can do things like humanize. Weirdly, I think that AI will be able to humanize MIDI, for instance, quite well, if anyone thinks of that in the near future. So with that being said, today I'm going to focus on a tool called Wavtool. So this is Wavtool. It is a web browser-based DAW. That alone is actually quite cool. And that uses AI to generate things or accomplish tasks. The way that I think that this is working, I'm not sure. I have not discussed this with Wavtool folks, but the way that I think that this works is that this prompt goes into a large language model, and then what the large language model returns is then parsed to be interpreted by the DAW. This is more on the technical side. So before I start, let me just say that Wavtool provided me with a 1-month free license for me to do this video, but we have not discussed any details at all. Everything you are going to see and hear from me is purely my unfiltered opinion, okay? So let's start and try to do something. So let's say that I want to create a track with a E minor, G, C, D progression. I won't even write the chord to see if he knows what I'm talking about. So it's now computing. Sure, I will create a track with a synth playing chords on a 2-bar loop. Click the button below to add the track and chords to your project. I feel that the 2-bar loop is short. But we'll wing it and see what happens. Okay, it has created the chord structure is a bit odd. This C here is weird. Let me just... This C goes here. This D... I'll just put this up. Okay, let's see what this plays. Okay, let me change the buffer size. In the test that I did, I had this issue too. Basically, it's just to increase the performance. Okay, it did create a 2-bar loop. Okay, so the G, I want that G an octave higher. Change the G in the progression to be 1 octave higher. Takes a bit of time, but we'll get there. Okay, update the chord progression. This is kind of weird. So this and you are the same clip. Yes, clip. So the G is higher. Oh, it used the previous progression without my changes on it. So it is not aware of the changes that you do. Okay, let's do a test then. I'm going to, it will be the same progression, but okay, now, so this is related with like creating music, actual music on its own. I want to add voice leading to the progression, because so the chords are going like up and down all over the place, and I kind of want it to be smoother. So that's the point of my request. Okay, add voice leading. Did it do anything? I don't think it did anything. Okay. We still need to work on some stuff. So this is okay. Let's add a baseline. This is so the create the chord progression would be the music creation part. So like the second kind of tools that we could have. The first kind of tools is the actual tooling, the repetitive tasks, and then the gray area, let's call it area 3, would be something like create a bass track with eighth notes that follows the chord progression. Let's see what happens. So this would be like to create a pulse kind of thing. Add the bass track. Are these 8th notes? Well, technically yes, but that was not what I was looking for. So I was looking for more of a pulse. Okay, change the bass track to be a continuous pulse. Continuous pulse of 8 notes. If that does the trick. So this would be like that gray area where I would ask the AI to do some repetitive tasks so that I don't have to go and like write the dum 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 or to just write the MIDI. Oh, it went really, really well. Okay, so let's see what happens here. That's good. Ambient. Okay, let's just put a little bit. Actually, let's have AI doing this. Lower the gain of the chord progression by 6 dB. All right. Now, there's an important take here regarding interface. So note the following. The speed at which I'm talking. Lower the gain of the chord progression by... Okay, if I said this, lower the gain of the chord progression by 6 dB. You see my point? Typing is not the way to go. I know that we are in a ChatGPT kind of world right now, but this is definitely something that we will need to improve in the future. I mean, it's not practical that I'm here with my mouse and my keyboard, and then I go to the keys, and then I have to go here and click and get the two hands. This doesn't work in a production environment. For AI to work, we need to have a voice thing going on. So it changed the gain, and now let's just add a simple beat. Add a simple beat. Just want a simple beat there. Sure. So it is aware of the project, right? Which is cool. So I had the drums. Well, it works. It's not brilliant, but I did ask it to be simple. So last but not least, add a melody with long notes to just this with long notes, because I want that thing. And it will be interesting to see if the octave is correct. I'm pretty sure it's going to nail the progression. I don't think that that's a big issue. I wonder if it understands what long notes mean in this context. It's just following the chord progression, right? Actually, no. Okay, this is interesting. Check this out. So this is E over E, then D over G, then C, then A. So it's kind of doing the least possible work in like a descending melody. Now let's see if the octave... Not very interesting, but it's correct. So yeah, it works great. Now let's see. Imagine a world where I want to add the chord progression. No, send the chord progression and the melody to a bus track. So my object, this is clearly a type 1 kind of task. So something that we do all the time and that we want to automate, and I just want to send those two tracks to a bus. So currently I don't have the functionality to create and send tracks to a bus track. However, I can help you adjust the levels and apply effects to individual tracks. Send tracks. What if I just send one? Can you send only the melody to a bus track? Now I'm just talking with the AI. As an AI, I'm currently able to create the bus tracks and route specific tracks to them, but you can manually send the melody track to a bus track in your digital audio orchestration. If you need help with any of these tasks, just let me know. Okay, so it is aware of what I'm trying to do and its limitations, and it's informing me of that, which is neat. So this is our final, very polished product. Oh. So my final thoughts on this. First, it works. So I know that this is like a new product, but this is really good. I mean, it's not like we have 10 years of development of this stuff for AI and so on. So as far as I'm concerned, the product, considering the timing in which it was done, is good, okay? It does the tasks that we asked it to do. I think that for a web-based DAW, it's perfectly fine. It's usable. It works really, really well. It didn't give me any issues. The only issue that I have with the AI itself is definitely the interface. I mean, typing just for the sake of having AI, I feel that it's going to make things slower in terms of production. It will make them a little bit faster in terms of music creation. Clearly, the time that it took for it to do, let's say, this bass with the pulse thing was faster than me going and just creating inputs for all of that stuff. And it was repetitive anyway, so I would probably prefer to waste 30 more seconds and just have AI doing it. So I think that products like Wavtool have a bright future ahead of them, depending on how the technology is evolving and what they are able to achieve with AI. If I am correct in my assessment that this is connected to a LLM and then parsing to the actions inside the DAW, assuming that that's what's happening and that I'm right in that assessment, it's a very, very smart way to do it, because it picks two tools with a narrow scope, so a DAW and a large language model, and then having something that parses between the two of them adds more to the two tools. So what we are able to do with the two is more than a sum of it, if that makes sense. So it is a cool tool. Give it a look. I will keep looking at it and see what goes on, and see how this is going to evolve, and also other tools that will be popping up in this AI music market. If you have any tools that you would like me to take a look at, or if you want to discuss this or any other topic really, you can find me on Twitter relatively easily, Synaptic Schism. I'm very active on Twitter, and I'm always happy to have a chat. If you have any comments, just let me know here. And until the next video, bye-bye.